Hi everyone, I'm Sebastian Negro, and today I'm going to be talking about offshore banking. I'm going to try to figure out if it's illegal or immoral. So the first thing obviously we need to do before talking about offshore banking is define it. According to the definition I found, offshore banking involves deposits by a business or individual in a bank that is in a different country from the one the depositor resides in. So in other words, basically what it means is when you do offshore banking, all you're doing is putting your money in another country. You would open an account in another country and put your money in this account. That is as simple as that. The first thing I want to talk about is a myth about offshore banking. Offshore banking has a really bad reputation. It is often associated with immoral and illegal activities. And I was trying to figure out why, and one of the reasons is that governments are trying to maintain this misconception simply because offshore banking is not profitable for governments. It is a loss of revenue for them because when you put your money offshore, you can legally avoid some kind of taxes. So governments need pretty much to do a bad publicity for offshore banking to try to limit it. But in the end, offshore banking is totally legal. It is just a tool, and as any kind of tool, you can use it legally or illegally. But if you use it right, it will be legal. But in some cases, it is illegal, yes, if you misuse it. And there is two main exceptions where offshore banking, when used in those specific ways, is illegal. The first one is when you use offshore banking to pretty much hide your money. You put money on an account abroad and simply not declare it to the government. You're trying to hide it to avoid taxation on this kind of money and this kind of revenues. And that is totally illegal. You are not supposed to hide any kind of money from your local government. The other exception is obviously money laundering. Many criminal organizations do it, and as you can imagine, it is obviously illegal. But in the end, as I said before, offshore banking is just a tool, and if used in proper ways, it is totally legal, and I want to insist on that because this is very important. Offshore banking is legal. It can be used for various of reasons. The first one is to protect yourself from any kind of risk. For example, a weak local banking industry. If the banking industry in your local country is not strong due to the fact that your country maybe is too small or that kind of things, you can offshore some of your money in a other country where the banking system is stronger to simply protect. You can also offshore um, money simply to protect yourself from political instabilities. Your local country might not be able to provide long-term political stability, and to avoid that kind of risk, you would put your money offshore. The other main reason, as you can imagine, to do offshore banking is to avoid taxation or at least diminish it. But the thing I want to insist on is that you can do that totally legally. If you put your money abroad on an account and you tell your government that you're doing it, you declare it to your government, you can avoid taxation or some of it because the money is just not put in the local country. You can put it in the other country where taxation is more lenient, where taxation is weaker. And as long as you declare all of that, it is totally legal. And it is not only legal, it is also really smart, simply because it can just be very, very profitable when you think about it. So now that we know it's legal, the other question is that is it moral? Because everything that is legal is not moral. Many people would say that offshore banking is immoral because when you use it to avoid some taxation, you're not helping your country. You're not paying as much taxes as you should be paying. And I strongly disagree with that. That is only my opinion, but I think that if you can obtain tax cuts by putting your money abroad and it is totally illegal, why shouldn't you do it? You're never obligated to pay more taxes than what you should do. So why would you? It kind of makes sense to me. So now the question that comes up is, if government dislike offshore banking so much, why don't they make it illegal? Well, the reason is simply because they cannot, because offshore banking is the key tool for international trades and investments. It is the key of globalization. If you're trying to invest abroad, if any kind of company is trying to invest abroad, and millions of companies are doing it now, almost no company does just domestic um, trade anymore. If you're trying to do that, if you're trying to put your money abroad in some kind of investment, you have to put that money somewhere. It has to be somewhere. It has to be in an account, and that is offshore banking. So trying to stop offshore banking by making it illegal will be to try to stop globalization. And as we know, it's totally impossible because although there's changes in technology, you just cannot limit it anymore. Globalization is just something that is going to happen and you just have to deal with it. So in the end, I want to conclude by saying that offshore banking is totally legal, if done correctly, obviously. And it is not immoral, according to me, if you do it legally. And it will never become illegal because government just cannot stop it. Because they actually, even they themselves, use offshore banking when they're making investment abroad. So it will be trying to make illegal something that you're actually doing. So that would not make sense. But offshore banking is a loss of revenues for every government. So every government are going to do everything they can to make offshore banking look bad, to give it a bad reputation, so people would do as less offshore banking as possible, so the different governments will lose as less money from tax cut as possible. But I wanted to this presentation to say that it is totally legal to do offshore banking, and it is most of the time really smart because you can avoid legally some kind of taxation. So I hope you learned something today. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I'll be available if you need me, and I